Multiplying fractions is pretty straightforward. When we multiply fractions, we just multiply the numerators times each other, and we multiply the denominators times each other. So 3 times 4 is 12. 7 times 5 is 35. So there's our answer, 12/35. Another example, 2/7 times 1/3. We would do 2 times 1 in the numerator. We would do 7 times 3 in the denominator, and we get 2/21. Okay, so multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators. Sometimes we have mixed numbers, and if you're not sure what to do with mixed numbers, you should see the video about fractions and mixed numbers. But we want to convert a mixed number to an improper fraction. So to do that, we would do 5 times 2, which is 10, plus 2, which is 12. And so 2 2/5 is equivalent to 12/5. So now we can follow this rule of where we multiply our numerators together and we multiply our denominators together. And we would get here, we would get 24/15. Now you could leave 24/15 as a mixed number, as an improper fraction, or we could write it as a mixed number. 24/15, we would say 15 goes into 24 once, with 9 left over. So 24 and 9/15. So sometimes we need to reduce fractions. So for example, we had, if we looked at that 9/15 that we had in that last problem, sometimes we want to reduce fractions or get them in what's called lowest terms. That's when we want to find factors, which are the numbers that we multiply together to make a number, to make a product. Find factors that they have in common. So for example, 9/15. 9 can be written as 3 times 3. 15 can be written as 3 times 5. And what we see is that we have 3 on the numerator and 3 in the denominator, and that's division. 3 divided by 3, as we know, is 1, so they cancel out. And so what we're left with is 3/5. So as it turns out, 9/15 is equivalent to 3/5, right? So we look for common factors. Now, most of the time what we do is we say something along the lines of, what's a number that goes into 12 and 16? And we use that. So a number that goes into 12 and 16, for example, is 2. 2 goes into 12 6 times. 2 goes into 16 8 times. Now we ask ourselves, is there a number that also goes into 6 and 8? And it turns out it's 2 again. 2 goes into 6 3 times. 2 goes into 8 4 times, right? So 12/16 reduces to 3/4. So that's one way that we could reduce 12/16. But there are other ways that we could do it too. What's another number that goes into 12 and into 16? 4 does. 4 goes into 12 3 times. 4 goes into 16 4 times. So we get the same answer, as we should. These are equivalent fractions. So that's how we reduce fractions. We either find a common factor, or we ask ourselves, what's a number that goes into both numbers? And then we basically do division until we get down to the lowest term.